Alright YouTube, welcome back. Haven't made a video in a while, but as always, we're working on this damn car. I don't want to talk too much. Let me show you guys what we're doing today. As you can see, we've already got the cold air intake off. We've got the throttle body off. I've got to get the intake manifold off because I'm going to be changing the oil pressure sensor. I had already changed the oil pressure sensor to one that I bought from Advanced. I forget what their brand is called, but I bought that one and it's working fine. Like in my display, I can see the oil pressure and it's reading, but I still have an oil pressure sensor code. So I'm gonna put the OE one back on and hopefully that code goes away, and that'll just make my life easier. After that, I have a leak, which I can actually show you guys at the flange where the headers are. So I'm gonna flip you guys upside down real quick. You can see, or you should be able to see, that there's some black ash or soot that came up right there, and that's not good. That's gonna mess with the tuning, and the car is going to be tuned tomorrow. So I'm gonna replace the oil pressure sensor. I'm gonna figure out a way to fix that problem, whether that means doubling up on gaskets, tightening down, whatever I need to do. I gotta fix that problem, and then all the other little stuff. I'll probably buy new spark plugs, replace the spark plugs, make sure all my tires are pressured up, all my oils and fluids and all that stuff is all in a good place. So I'm going to do all of that today because I want tuning to go smoothly tomorrow. That way I'm just good and I can finally drive my car. But for now, I'm probably going to time lapse you guys. You guys can watch me take this intake manifold off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the intake manifold off in like 16 minutes, so that's a new record for me. But right now, the problem that we're having is back here. This is your oil pressure sensor. If you really wanted to, you could stick your hand behind the manifold and try and fiddle with it, but it's just easier to take the intake manifold off, and that way it's just right there. So I'm going to disconnect this sensor. That goes up. And that's the oil pressure sensor itself. Real quick, as we're working on this, I did want to tell you guys a story. It was, as I was working, there was one time I was working on getting the intake manifold off, and I said to myself, as you can see, the heads are covered, but I said to myself, I'm gonna be quick, so I don't need to cover the heads, is what I said. I don't need to cover them, it's just gonna be a waste of time. I'm gonna be quick. As I was working, not 2 minutes after that, I dropped a bolt, and the bolt went, and it was like halfway down the head when it stopped. When I tell you guys, I was so scared, because if you drop a bolt or something down there, good luck. Good luck. You have to go and do all that crap just to try and find it. You can't start the engine. Just good luck. Good luck. So, as a cautionary tale, use something, cover the heads. Don't be lazy, because when you're lazy, it'll catch up to you. But let's get this thing off. It's a 27 millimeter. This sensor back here. I just use the adjustable wrench because who has a 27 millimeter laying around? But let's just get this thing off. Like I said earlier, I'm probably going to replace the spark plugs. Since I'm going to have everything open anyway, might as well, because I don't think they've been replaced. I think they're the same spark plugs that have been on the car. Since it came from the factory. But take this bad boy off, and there you go. That's the oil pressure sensor. Okay, so this is the new oil pressure sensor that I had bought, and this is the OE one. Luckily I kept this thing. I'm glad I didn't throw it away. But so we're gonna put the OE one back on and see if it gets away with, or gets rid of that cold. Alright, we've got the oil pressure sensor back on and tightened down. I know somebody's going to ask about a torque spec. I don't have one for you. Just tighten it down, ugga dugga, and it's good. Next up, we're going to be doing the headers, so getting the headers off. That'll be, it's not hard, man. Getting the headers on and off, once you've done it a couple times, it's not hard. I just don't really feel like doing it, but it's got to be done. I'm also probably going to take the coils off, all this off, and just check and make sure I'm getting oil on the top end. And just kind of check on that stuff and make sure everything is nice and solid. And then after all that, drive to Advanced Auto Parts, get the stuff I need, and we'll be good. But the sun's starting to rise. It's getting a little bit hotter out here, but we're gonna keep working, keep you guys along with me, and I'll be right back. So we've already basically finished this side, which is the driver's side. Everything, I got the new spark plugs in, and I had the gasket that came with the Speed Engineering headers, and then I also have the AC Delco, the multi-layered steel gasket. That one was on by itself. What I did was I double gasketed, and then I tightened everything down like decently tight. So I'm hoping that stops the leak. I really right now just need a temporary fix, and so I'm hoping that'll be it. As for the spark plugs, these are the ones I went with. If you don't know, so these are the NGK TR6s, as you can see, TR6 4177. It's just the copper ones, not the iridium. Only difference is with the copper you have to change them more frequently than the iridium, but I don't really mind too much. It is a step cooler than the OE spark plugs, but since we're cammed, that's sort of what the recommendation was. And well, the consensus, right, was people were saying go with the TR6s, so that's what I went with. So other than that, I've got to get to work on the passenger side. Unfortunately, I could only find one of my Speed Engineering gaskets, so I have no idea what I'm going to do with this side. I don't know, I'll figure it out. Maybe RTV, I don't know. But for now, we've got that side done. We've got the new spark plugs, so I'm moving along pretty decently here. But I'll update you guys when I'm done with that side, and we'll see what I do. All right, we are back. Last night I didn't really record too much after the last clip that I did, just because I got super busy. I was trying to finish. I ended up finishing around 8:30 or 9. So I was out working on the car for 12 hours, but I got everything squared away. I did have to do some janky stuff in terms of the header, because I'm pretty sure my Speed Engineering headers warped at the flanges. But on this side, I double gasketed, and then on this side over here, I didn't really want to, but I had to, and I used RTV, some sealant, some high temperature sealant, and so it's holding for now. For short term, I'm hoping that holds. Long term, I'm probably gonna end up investing in some better headers. But yeah, that's just kind of what happens when you buy the $300 stuff. You know, it comes with a risk. I knew that coming in, but for now, that's holding. I replaced all the spark plugs. You guys saw that, and I just made sure everything was buttoned up, and it went well. The tuner said everything was looking good. But yeah, the car's running. Right now, what I do have to do is go and update my registration, because my registration expired in January. It is now August, so I'm way behind. But other than that, once I do that, I give this car a wash, because it is extremely dirty. If we come over here and we look, you can see all that dirt. So this thing is dirty. It needs a wash. It needs its registration. I'm going to try and handle all of that stuff right now, and then I'll go ahead and mount you guys up, and we'll go on a ride together. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. We're almost done. Let's go take this thing for a ride. All right, so I actually got called back into work, but as I drive over there, I figured I can take you guys on the first drive. So first things first, let's get her started so you guys can hear some chop. But it does sound nice. Get in the car. All right, so I just got to get to work real quick, do some paperwork stuff, and then I should be able to go and get the car inspected. I've already got my insurance sorted out. I'll show you guys this real quick, just to give the tuner a plug, because right now the car's been pretty smooth. Let me see if I can get you guys to see that. Hopefully you can see that. So I got the car tuned here locally in Brownsville, and so far it's running smoothly. I don't want to say I had problems with the tuner, but he was a little slow to respond. But other than that, cool dude. And from what I can tell right now, the car is running smoothly, so I can't really be too mad. But yeah, so right now I'm gonna take it easy. You know, everybody recommends 500 miles you drive, you know, kind of nice and easy with the car, so that the car breaks in and stuff like that. And so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Just give it the 500 miles. I know with newer motors that are, you know, hydraulic roller cams, you really don't have to like follow the braking period that much, just because it's different than how, you know, the old hot rods were. These don't really require that braking period, but it's good to do anyway, and it's gonna give me peace of mind. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now, I'm sure you guys can hear the stock exhaust with just the straight pipes is droning like crazy. So that's probably going to be the next thing that I'm going to do, is exhaust, because it's loud in here, man. And there was a time where that's where I wanted it to be loud and obnoxious. Not so much anymore. I want to quiet it down. So that's what I'll be doing, is exhaust. As for what one, obviously I'd love to go Corsa. Corsa is, you know, the king in terms of, you know, having no drone and stuff like that, but you pay for it, you know what I mean? It's expensive. So it's either gonna be Corsa or Solo Performance, but you guys just stay tuned, and whenever I, you know, get the chance and, you know, have the funds cleared up for that, then that's what I'll do. Another thing, coilovers. I want to get coilovers because I'm on the stock shocks and some BMR springs, and it doesn't ride the best. So next, after the exhaust, is going to be coilovers. But other than that, so far everything is going good. We look at our oil pressure. It's sitting nice and high, cruising around 2,000 RPM. It's at 4 bar, so it's 58 pounds at 2,000 RPM, which is pretty good. Oil temperature is fine. I did delete the oil cooler. Haven't really noticed a difference though. The one other thing I also really need is a trans temperature sensor. I want to get the little 4-pack that goes here in the center. That's something that I also really need, because I want to have a way to keep an eye on my transmission temperature, and that'll also make looking at the oil pressure easier as well. So that's another big thing that I want to do. But other than that, transmission seems to be happy and shifting decently. My fuel range is abysmal now. And that's it. After my 500 miles, I will drain out the old oil, put some good oil in, and then we'll be able to actually let this thing rip. But for now, I'm just gonna drive her like a grandma. She's loud. I don't know, man. It's annoying. It gets annoying. I know some guys are like, oh, you know, I used to have an old, you know, 68 Firebird that droned way worse than it is now, but I don't know, I can't do it, man. So, but in the short term, this car needs to be washed, and then I'm gonna go do the inspection as soon as I'm done here at work. So I'll do the inspection, and then I'll have my inspection and my insurance on me, and then tomorrow morning I have to go and get the car registered, and then after I do the inspection, I'll get the car washed, should be. I mean, I should be green after that. It has been a long journey since when I started this. More upcoming videos. I'm gonna do like a price breakdown for you guys, how much it costs realistically, right? Because I had the cost that I had before I even started working, and now there's the cost after, right? So I'll do another price breakdown for you guys, and I want to be realistic, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people will say, oh, it costs this much to install the cam, but you know, a lot of the little things they're not counting, right? So that'll come up obviously after my 500 miles. You're gonna get a lot of videos from Mexico, and that'll be fun too, right? But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy it because I haven't had my car in probably 6 months or something like that. So I'm just gonna enjoy it, man. It's been a long time coming. Okay, so I had to take a phone call for work, so sorry for the abrupt cut. I don't even remember what I was talking to you guys about, but honestly, I think that should be it for this video. Let me crack the window a little bit, let you guys hear that. Yeah, man, that should be it for today's video. Thank you so much for those of you guys that are, you know, subscribed and have, you know, been watching the videos, and sort of the journey this car has taken for the last year or whatever. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it, really, man. If you haven't already, if this is the first time that you're, you know, on the channel or just watching this video or whatever, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. All right, those were bad manners. You gotta say thank you looking at the camera, man. Come on now. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you're in the 956, you see Vader here, you hear me chopping it up, don't feel shy, and you know, you always say hi. And yeah, thank you guys. If you have any questions, anything like that, leave them in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.